Hey guys, Bricks here, and for the third rendition of this series, as you can probably tell by this title, we're going to be looking at Brickmania mini kits. Now, I know that you guys can see the Vietnam War mock in the back corner right here. I assure you that there are additional episodes coming soon. I just haven't gotten around to it recently, so hopefully you guys will see something on that front relatively shortly. But anyways, as you guys can tell by the title, and as I said previously, we're going to be looking at Brickmania mini kits. So essentially what a mini kit is a very low piece, should I say, not low item, low piece count kit from Brickmania that generally has a low price. I think that they hover around usually like $15 to $45. I think that's generally what you could consider a mini kit. And why this is the topic of the video today is that a lot of people don't like Brickmania's mini kits. And let's just go over the first reason and the biggest reason, and that is price. So something like this, I honestly don't even remember what this is called, what the specific field gun this is. I know it's American, and I'm pretty sure it was mainly used in the Pacific Theater during World War II. I just don't know the specific name. But either way, I'm pretty sure that this kit was it was between $15 to $20. I'm almost positive. If someone wants to correct me in the comments below, that would be mighty appreciated. But essentially, clearly, this is essentially like 50 to 60 pieces, and they're charging between $15 and $20. And quite frankly, that is a ridiculous price per piece ratio, I guess we can call it, or price to part ratio, however you want to say it. It's really just kind of sky high, right? I think that Brickmania generally sticks to about in the 26 to 30 cent range per piece for large kits that obviously have a lot of time and effort that go into them. But for something like this, especially something that would be so quick and so easy to design, I don't think that it warrants such high a markup. And so that's why the price is such a problem for stuff like this. It's really just a way that Brickmania can use a minimal amount of parts and a minimal amount of effort and pump out these smaller kits that definitely are geared towards people who might be younger or are not the best builders. I'm gonna go ahead and say that myself, I'm not the best builder, and I definitely was a terrible builder when I bought something like this, but I bought this because it was easy to get and it seemed cheap. When I was looking at it, something for 15 or 20 from Brickmania is relatively cheap when you're looking compared to their other kits. But when you think in the overall grand scheme of things, this whole thing itself is probably, I don't know, $3 worth in parts, and that's definitely being generous in terms of the pricing for each of these parts. So you can pretty clearly see where that markup comes. I mean, if this thing, I'm being super generous, costs $3, and they're charging between $15 to $20 for it, that's pretty heavy markup, and that's a really huge profit margin for Brickmania. Now, of course, as a business, this is a pretty smart move. It's an easily accessible thing that a lot of younger people and bad builders like myself, as I've said previously, can get, that can easily upgrade the detail of their mocks, the dioramas, or their collection. But it is somewhat taking advantage of them because I didn't know the real cost of this when I was first getting this. I definitely ordered this when I didn't know what Bricklink was. I didn't really know the true cost of anything in Lego. So that's why I went for it. I wouldn't go for it now because I know that I can find instructions for something similar to this online and order the pieces myself. But there are plenty of people who don't have the time, the patience, or the knowledge to do stuff like that. And I think that that's where this is a little bit taking advantage of the consumer. As I said, no hate to Brickmania for that. It's just, I feel like that is the nature of the situation. It is a little bit of taking advantage of the consumer who isn't really totally knowledgeable about how expensive Lego is and how much this kit really would cost to produce. Now, what I think that would make this kit more worth it is if, something like this came with a few printed parts. Like, for example, if maybe this front, the gun, maybe the load, and some of this other stuff had custom printing on it, maybe had some different textures and colors that were, kind of working on it, then I could get on board with upcharging it a little bit like they currently do, because then it would make it a little bit more unique and actually make their product essentially have a reason that you would get it beyond simply being unable to find or use Bricklink or just simply not having that knowledge. I think that essentially the way that Brickmania can redeem themselves is releasing a new line of these kind of artillery pieces, as they have in the past with custom parts or at least stickers. I believe that they have released some German field pieces and artillery that either has stickers or printed pieces. I'm not entirely sure. I do remember seeing, I think it was like a pack 40 or something like that from Brickmania that had some stickers on it, I think on the barrel. But clearly, as you guys can see by this video, or I guess as you guys can tell, I'm not a big fan of these mini kits. I think that especially these artillery mini kits are definitely taking advantage of the consumer somewhat, of, you know, hoping that they don't really know what the real true value of these parts are. So as with this series, as I've been doing, I would love to hear your opinion on kind of this issue. I know that a lot of people have very strong opinions about Brickmania in general, but what I think would be great is if you guys could leave comments kind of about your opinion about Brickmania mini kits specifically, because I feel like this video is really addressed towards these kits that have the substantial markup margins that are very much different than, say, a huge Brickmania kit that has a ton of minifigures and a ton of custom printed parts. I think that they are two different stories and you have to kind of separate the two. It isn't really fair to make an opinion about these mini kits and apply it to all of Brickmania in the same way that it isn't fair to make an opinion about Brickmania's huge kits and then apply it to, you know, a kit size like this. So if you have any opinions on stuff like this, let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of curious, you know, would you guys buy this? Would you not? Do you think it's worth it, or do you not think it's worth it? I think it's pretty fairly simple to understand my position on this matter. I definitely don't think it's worth it anymore. Had I, you know, figured out Bricklink and known about instructions a lot sooner, I definitely would have gone that route, because I think that that just would have been a lot smarter. But other than that, I don't think that there's a ton else to add. If you guys have any suggestions about topics that you want me to cover in these videos, where I'm just kind of going over stuff that I think the community should know about, or that I think that I can provide some resources to the community, please let me know. If there's any topics that you want to learn more about, or any things that you want me to address, or anything that you want to hear my opinion on, definitely let me know. I definitely take those considerations and those comments into, you know, possible video ideas. I definitely think about them, and I have taken those suggestions seriously in the past and actually created content based on that. So definitely let me know. I am listening. I promise you. I look through all the comments. But other than that, as I've said, there's nothing else to add. So as always, guys, like, comment, subscribe, do all the normal stuff, and I'll catch you next time.